Good evening, folks, and welcome to a Southwestern Conference rivalry match between the Collinsville Jayhawks and your Edwardsville Tigers. I'm Zach Kennett, and tonight, for the first time, I'm joined by Kaiser Ravel.
What's going on, guys? It's Kaiser, ready for a good match tonight between Collinsville and Edwardsville.
The Jayhawks come into this game 11-12. The Tigers are 13-9. The Tigers have won 20 straight games against the Collinsville Jayhawks. They have won 42 of their last 43 games, dating back to 2006. That's a streak longer than some of these players, if not all of them, have been alive, Kaiser.
Man, that's a crazy statistic to think about, man. It goes back to the culture, you know. We have a big hate for these Collinsville Jayhawks.
Yeah, Kaiser, I mean, obviously on the football field, you dominate them. Can you speak to what it's like just playing a crosstown rival like that?
Man, it's something different about it. You know a bunch of these guys. You know, you might see them around town, family, friends, but, you know, when it comes to sports, it's domination.
Also notable, our boys team is playing in Collinsville tonight. We'll try to keep you folks posted at home. Looking around the court for the Jayhawks, Carly Call, Ashley Giannini, Carson Mode, Carly Van Dyke, and Talisha Gilmore. For the Tigers, it's Lainey McFarland, Elaine Simmons, Sophie Shapiro, Gabby Cook, and Lane Logan as the Jayhawks get on the board with two.
You know, they're kind of just dribbling the ball, trying to find a play, kind of figuring out the Tigers' defense. But, you know, they're trying to play some tough offense, but I think the Tigers got it.
Cook to Simmons. Her pass had a bit too much on it. Sales, Jayhawk ball.
You know, it's all about finding your rhythm, and, you know, you can't start every game hot, but I know the Tigers, when they come out, they're looking to start hot.
Inbound there to Collinsville. It is number 24, Ashley Giannini. Call at the logo, a whistle. Looks to be on Sophie Shapiro there.
Tigers trying to play some tight defense, let them know that they're here early.
Shapiro tied for first on the team in fouls. For a sophomore, she plays hungry, but sometimes it's a bit too much.
Tough layup for Collinsville there, and you know, both teams are at each other all the time, just trying to work them, beat them down.
Shapiro, great idea, just not fantastic execution there, Kaiser. In the post. Ooh, that's stiff defense there. Batted around. Check out number 35, Carly Van Dyke.
Yeah, Tigers getting their hands in the cookie jar, not finding any luck yet.
Wow, that's a great turnover there. Lainey McFarland just intercepts that pass in the paint. Shapiro, Cook, in for an easy two, Kaiser. How do you like that?
Hey, I mean, it was perfect execution. You know, Gabby got right under the basket. You know, she went up strong, and, you know, you come down with it.
Cook, a smaller sample size on the season, but just fantastic when she shoots, and a turnover there. There's a whistle. Cook shoots 70% from the floor. A foul on call. And Cook will inbound, likely to Shapiro.
Yeah, both teams trying to make a presence tonight as Sophie Shapiro brings it up the court.
Logan over to Cook. Shapiro finds Simmons. Relay. McFarland three. Nothing but net, Kaiser. Oh my goodness.
Man, it wasn't what the Tigers were expecting on that play, but they come out big with 3 points right there.
You normally don't think of the Tigers as a perimeter team. I mean, McFarland only shoots 27.5% from three, but just confidence there to take the lead.
Yeah, you know, somebody's got to take charge early in this game to get the Tigers back on track, and it seems to be getting to a better start.
Yes, sir. Giannini. 5:45 to go in this first quarter. Tigers lead for the first time tonight. Now to Van Dyke. In trouble. Shapiro. Called a jump ball. Tigers have the arrow.
Tigers playing some strong defense, you know, putting some pressure down. That's what we like to see, you know. Putting them under a little stress leads to takeaways, and that's what you need in a game like this.
Yes, sir. Shapiro, just so confident for an underclassman point guard.
You know, she had a great freshman year. Took a lot of charge, leading from some big seniors.
Yeah, and a team that had so many holes going into this year with so many departures, haven't been missing much with how much Shapiro and Smith have really stepped up.
And that's what you need from your youngins. You need them to take a little bit more pressure off the older ones, because you know one day they're going to be leading the team.
Gilmore, full head of steam into the paint. Shapiro got a hand in, forces the turnover. Wow. Lane Logan now. That's Sophie Shapiro for you, personified. Simmons in, lays it up.
Tigers try to take quick charge of a turnover like that. You know, they capitalize on that one. Tigers laying it on tonight.
They kind of passed up the fast break there, but they set up quickly. Great look, 7-4 lead. Giannini. And there's Sophie Shapiro.
Shapiro working hard for that one.
Oh, man. She's getting applause now from her bench. Simmons there, trouble.
Pass wasn't on target, but I think it was the right move.
Call. The junior. Call again. Logan with the leverage toward the half-court line. Pass over. Call again. Gilmore. 3 for Call. No.
You know, Tigers played some tight defense tonight, trying to really work their hands in there, not letting Collinsville get in the paint, keeping them to minimal threes. I think that's the move tonight.
Halfway through the first, Edwardsville leads 7-4. Cook. Shapiro there with a pick. There's a whistle. So that'll be Carly Call's second foul of the night already. She'll be checking out for, as we wait for the number, it's number 32, Addison Muniz. And in steps Mia Semeth for the first time tonight for Lane Logan. Shapiro, just so confident. Oh, that's frustrating, in and out.
Just out, you know. Oh, but they get it back. It's not what you want to see, but they're trying to capitalize off a rebound.
Shapiro's just so fast out there. It looks like she's moving on ice or something. Just so quick. Block there by Gilmore. Mode. First time we're calling her name tonight. Covered by McFarland. Tightly. Has to pass out.
You know, Tigers are really working that perimeter defense, not letting them get anywhere close to the paint. Trying to get Collinsville to shoot the rock.
Now, it's important to note that this game's close right now, but the last time these teams faced off, Edwardsville won 62-32. That 30-point margin, one of the largest of Edwardsville's wins. Gilmore gets the foul. Yeah, that 30-point win in Collinsville. I mean, you can speak to that going into the Dragon's Den. What's that like?
You know, going into somebody's home turf and kind of taking over, it kind of just demoralizes the team. You know, you see the pain on their face when they're super confident going through their day in math class, and then you reach the quarter, reach the turf, and just domination by the other team.
Gilmore makes her first. She shoots 60% from the line to make it a 1-point game, going for 2 for 2. The senior Talisha Gilmore.
Collinsville really trying to work that paint tonight. Trying to get big, you know, force Tigers to snap on the perimeter, but kind of forget about the slip into the paint.
Simmons got the board, and before I could even say that, we're already putting up shots. McFarland, bit too much. Gilmore gets the board. This is a Tiger team, and this is maybe to speak to Brian Young, because this was a team characteristic last year, but they just move so quickly. A full court press on defense. They love exploiting fast breaks, and they love just setting up quickly in the offensive zone.
Yeah, it kind of just keeps the other team off balance, and they're never 2 feet down. They're always moving, gassing them out, really. Trying to get them tired, make them think under hard pressure, and that's really what you want.
Gilmore has to pass out. Shot banks in.
Bank is open today.
Yes. That is number 23, April Ramirez, I believe. Calls bank. Semeth. Shapiro into Simmons. Simmons. McFarland has to work in. Passes out to Semeth. Semeth for three. It's off. Can't get the board.
You know, Tigers seemed after that first three. Oh,
Sophie Shapiro, coast to coast. Can she get it? Yes! 9-8 Tiger lead.
quick flick off the fingers. Sophie Shapiro lays that one up beautifully.
The question, I mean, obviously she comes out with so much energy. Can she maintain it for all 4 quarters?
You know, I think she can. She worked at a hard pace last year, and you know, full steam ahead as the sophomore.
We see some substitutions. Lane Logan out, or Lane Logan in. McFarland and Simmons out. We see Kennedy Geese-King for the first time tonight, and Kaylee Hoschild. Muniz into Gilmore, backdoor cut.
No good.
She can't convert. It'll be Tiger ball. It's number 13, Darina Morris.
You know, lucky miss for the Tigers. Kinda let them go a little bit, but luckily it was offline.
I think I mispronounced that. Dariana Morris. Yeah, just a great athletic move to cut in. Just couldn't finish.
Like I was saying earlier, they're trying to work the perimeter so hard they're really forgetting about the paint. I think that should be a focus the Tigers will rely on leading into the game
Logan
more.
Trouble keeps her dribble. Semeth midi. Can't get the fall. Edwards the ball.
You know, they might have got lucky there, but the Tigers will take it.
46 seconds to go in this first quarter. Tigers lead by 1. Shapiro to inbound.
Tigers in the conga line, trying to work something.
Semeth passes way over to Shapiro. Geese-King far out. Logan. Semeth 30 seconds now. Shapiro, wide open look. It's long. Number 32, Muniz has trouble there, has to pass out. And Shapiro sprinting. Wow. Like we said, plays hungry, plays with a just so hungry, so like fast and quick out there, unlike any other player we're seeing tonight.
You know, plays like a true Tiger, you know, always working, always hustling, trying to get the next tip, next ball, trying to really work them.
Gilmore in the paint. Be a foul on the floor. Be on number 25. Mia Semeth.
You know, Tigers with 4 fouls tonight. They're hungry. It's only the first quarter, but Tigers are really trying to work it.
Giannini dribbles out of the corner. Drives in. And that's going to be a travel. And with 2.9 seconds left, the Tigers have a chance here for a half-court prayer.
You know, anything's possible. Tigers just looking to control the ball, roll it in so the time doesn't stop.
.3 seconds. Not sure what that ruling was. Ref talking to Brian Young there. Looks like, I think there's a player at the scorer's table for Collinsville. Crept onto the court a bit.
Collinsville coaches raising some questions.
And so we're just going to do a little reset now. 2.9 seconds on the clock. Thought the coach would be a little bit more unhappy, but he's pretty acceptant. Shapiro. Oh! Off the top of the rim. Had the angle, had the look. Just a bit unlucky there.
Just offline, but you know, like I said, anything is possible when it comes to last-second shots.
Kaiser, what did you see in that first half that the Tigers maybe need to improve on?
I think that they really should work the paint. I mean, they got caught slipping. Most of Collinsville's points are in the paint, in free throws, and that's from getting in the paint. I think they really need to focus a little less on the perimeter and more on the paint, kind of getting bigger, putting a body on number 25.
Yeah. All right, we talked about your thorns. What about your roses? What do you think went well for the Tigers?
The speed of the Tigers really attributed to the points, you know, working the Collinsville defense, you know, catching them off guard, leading to easy passes. Just need to connect a little more on those passes, and I think Tigers can take away with this one.
Your leading scorer for the Tigers, Laney McFarland with 3. No Tiger has multiple buckets. They're spreading the love tonight.
Yeah, I also think somebody needs to take charge, let the Collinsville Jayhawks know that there's a presence on the court, and it's got to be one of them.
We've certainly seen Shapiro on the defensive end. Still waiting for the Tiger to wake up on the offensive zone. The Jayhawks are holding their own tonight. Double dribble there. That's a careless turnover there for Collinsville.
And mistakes like that really chips into the end of the game. Maybe if you're down by a few or it's a really tight one, those mini mistakes will really stick it to you.
Exactly, those wasted possessions. McFarland turns it over. Chance for a fast break here. Jayhawks will settle instead. Gilmore, we've seen her all night. Hasn't checked out, I don't believe. Simmons now with a burst of speed. Great Euro. Easy 2, 11-8.
She looked like she's traveling the country with that one. Clean move right there. And then an easy finish.
They're going to call it a delay of game on Landon Simmons. Collinsville ball. See, what's nice about a lower energy atmosphere like this tonight, I think a lot of fans traveled for the boys game in Collinsville, is that we can really hear the coaches get a better idea of what's going on the court level.
Yeah, I really know what the coaches are thinking, their game plans, so. And
it's a pass out there. Van Dyke.
You can really hear the communication on the Tigers. They communicate really well, calling switches, calling on ball, really let the Jayhawks know that there's a presence tonight, and that's all. That'll be a big favor coming to the later parts.
Gilmore to Giannini, back to Gilmore, another turnover, and again it's Simmons with a full head of steam. Great dribble move there, puts it in, can't come down with it. Tigers get the board. It's Gabby Cook in the paint. Pass out to Simmons. That's a travel there. Simmons twice in a row now. These kind of thoughtless mistakes. And again, like you said, that's what costs you in a one-possession game late.
Yeah, and Gabby, she got the rebound. She put up a shot, then she got it back. I think a pass out would be nice there, kind of thinking ahead. You have 3 people on you. It's hard to really control the ball when you're just smothered.
It's always a tough shot right under the basket. Van Dyke.
Seems to be no effect on the Tigers. They're playing still really tight defense. Gabby hustles back.
And there it is again. There's a Tiger team that is hungry for turnovers, and there's going to be a jump ball there. Tigers have the arrow. Jayhawk bench disagrees with that call. Kaiser, what do you think?
Man, any call that doesn't go your way, you're going to disagree with. I know, going back to the football days, any call that wasn't for the Tigers, coach would let them know.
Cook, Semeth. Simmons motioned in. It's back to Cook. 4 Tigers at the perimeter. Simmons in the paint. It's blocked by Gilmore, but there is a foul.
I really like that play by Simmons. She's really working her momentum, getting big, trying to get those fouls, get those free throws, get those easy layups. It's something that is underutilized in basketball, especially for the women's Tigers team. I think it's something they should rely on more.
Simmons at the line for 2 makes 61%. Misses 1. Still a 3-point lead, 6 to go in the second quarter. Simmons readies again. One for 2 for the line. Elena Simmons, a 4-point game. Edwardsville leads.
Yeah, and that's just a non-negotiable. You should really be working to make your free throws, and at the end of the day, those are probably the biggest contributor when it comes to end of game situations. Going back to men's basketball versus Alton, it really came down to the free throws in the last second play.
Make your free throws, folks. And they're going to say it's a foul on White. Lane Logan on the floor. Again, we talked about how hungry this Tigers squad is. Maybe too hungry at times. Just gets caught in the cookie jar.
You know, you can't be mad at a player for being too physical. You can't. You can coach a shot, you can coach a play, but you can't coach toughness and physicalness. So that's something that the Tigers have, and it's something you can't be mad at. But you know, kind of coaching situational, knowing where you're at with the score and realizing who you're playing.
Great move there to cut in. K-Hawks in a bit of a scoring drought now. Spinning move sends Gilmore diving into the K-Hawk bench. It'll be Collinsville ball. It's out on McFarland there. Pass ahead, over the shoulder there. Oh, that's a tough trip there. Unintentional, but it's a whistle every time.
You know, when you see a really physical play like that, your first interaction after you get up, you know, you're feeling a little heated, but you know, both teams carry themselves well.
So Logan, 2 fouls. She'll check out in favor of Semeth. So we see some substitutions on the K-Hawk side too. I mean, it's never fun hitting the deck like that, Kaiser.
No, but it's just a part of sports, you know. You gotta be willing to take a fall.
Mode into Gilmore. Sinks it. Talisha Gilmore, 5 points on the night.
Yeah, she's really been putting that work in the paint, you know, really paying her dues, getting every bucket.
Cook for 3. Great idea there. I mean, she was open, just missed.
Yeah, and you can't really get a better look than that, but it's just a part of basketball. You don't always hit your shots, but it's okay.
Dariana Morris. Gilmore in the paint. Ooh, bit too much spin on it. Doesn't go. Tiger ball now. And that is something Edwardsville's been fantastic at, is getting those boards tonight.
Yeah, it goes back to being physical and having a presence.
So McFarland made her first 3, a bit cold. Semeth, another miss. Shapiro now, what's the idea? Cook, mid-range, that's an easy block for Gilmore.
You know, she's going back to paying her due. She's really been putting it on the Tigers tonight.
Yeah, and this is a game Edwardsville just favored in, and they have not been able to pull away yet.
You know, it's still early. It's still early. Both teams are really trying to find their rhythm, but the defense is really laying it on. Tigers getting loud, letting the K-Hawks fans and players know this one's not going to be easy.
Yeah, and you can see how, I mean, just the energy that you have from your bench, and I think the defense was really excited by that and able to force a turnover as Collinsville makes some substitutions there. Talisha Gilmore has scored a half of the Collinsville points tonight, and she is on the bench now.
Yeah, you know, they're really feeling the juice. They're really seeping it in, playing hard, both teams.
Backdoor cut for Simmons. Caught a body. It'll be Collinsville ball. And so we see this Tiger full court press, this man-to-man defense that they just play so fantastically.
Yeah, you can't be mad at them. You know, they're really trying to put the hurt on them, really trying to let them know, trying to find any opportunity to weigh them down.
Call now. Van Dyke. Giannini way over. And this is a K-Hawk squad that takes a while to curate their shot, and that makes you prone for turnovers just like that. And Simmons, it's just these dots she has to connect a bit better.
Yeah, Simmons put a little heat on it when take a little heat, little pressure off. It's right on the money. Tigers get 2.
Edwardsville leads 12-10 for EHS Broadcasting. I'm Zach Kennett, joined by Kaiser Ravel. We here at EHS Broadcasting always trying to do best by your student athletes, trying to make each stream better than the last. We'll be checking in the live stream chat during our halftime break as the teams are breaking from this timeout.
Yeah, Collinsville first to break the huddle, trying to show that that the Tigers are putting nothing on them, but I know deep down, both teams are hurting.
3:16 to go in the second quarter. Carly Call. Ramirez. Way back. Now it's Giannini. Sophie Shapiro. You cannot idle if you're a K-Hawk ball handler because Sophie Shapiro will reach in, poke it free, and try to disrupt whatever motion you've got going on.
Yeah, it seems like the Tigers didn't eat lunch today. They're hungry. They're reaching for anything they can get. And, they're really capitalizing on the steals, but not so much on the offensive side.
Van Dyke to Call. Call deflected by Semeth. Cook now. Bit of a fast break here. Sophie Shapiro. Body doesn't fall, and it'll still be Tiger ball.
Yeah, Tigers really need to capitalize on these fast breaks. It's going to end up catching up to them not after too long. They really need to focus on their touch there, but more game left to go.
And a lot of times when this Tigers team has trouble getting shots to fall, it's just a fast break for Collinsville. Has to wrangle, shot falls, tie game. This Tiger squad, and we've seen this before, they struggle in the first half. It's just these little things they have to refine, but by the second half, they are a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, Coach Brian Young takes them into the locker room and really lets them know what they need to work on. He's a very blunt guy, kind of just lays it on them, lets them know that it's up to them. He can only do so much from the sideline.
What do you think about shot selection from Simmons there? Kind of like a 360 skyhook thing.
I just think the shot selection needs to be thought about more. Just taking the simple route never hurts.
Tie game, 2 minutes to go in the second. Deflected there. Simmons on the fast break once again. Works into the paint. Back to Semeth. That's a tough shot to make. Kind of a sidearm bank there. And Sophie Shapiro running laps around the K-Hawks. A little bit of a juke there. Shapiro. Just a fantastic, versatile athlete, Sophie Shapiro.
Yeah, I know she's a stud on the tennis court, and you can see it in the footwork there and the speed, reacting to all those balls. I think that can attribute to her getting her steals, really reaching her hands in there.
Yeah. Semeth, turnover there. It's these little frustrations, Kaiser.
Yeah. Tigers really need to think 3 people in the paint. Should I take this shot? I just think it goes back to the shot selection, Still a lot of game left to go.
April Ramirez, 70 seconds on the clock. Carly Call. Ramirez, a minute now. And it's how Collinsville likes it. They like to play slow and try to curate that best shot. Doesn't fall there. Simmons gets the board. 50 seconds on the clock. Geese King for 3. It falls! Kennedy Geese King.
That one's online, Pressure makes diamonds, and I think that was a diamond play.
Yeah, Kennedy Geese King, perhaps not the most experienced varsity player, but just fantastic there. 30 seconds now. K-Hawks down by 3. They cannot. If I'm Collinsville, I'm a inferior team, and I just can't go into half down as there's a whistle. Will send Addison Muniz to the line. Muniz 1 for 8 from the charity stripe so far this year. And this is her first. A lot of motion there. Shooting. 20 seconds on the clock to make it a 2-point game.
Tigers making calls. Offline. Tigers rebound. Runs it up the court.
Simmons. Tough pass over there to Geese King. 15 seconds. Simmons Clear path. It's a runway and one.
You know, that one's free. The Grammys was the other day. That looked like a red carpet take.
And now it was a close quarter. Tigers now pulling away up 5, 11 to go to make it a 6-point lead with 11 seconds on the clock. Elaine and Simmons 60% from the line, 1 for 2 tonight. Can't get it to go. Tigers can't get the board. 9 seconds now for Collinsville.
Collinsville trying to work for that last second shot. Geese King tips it out.
Scrum for the ball. 3 seconds. It'll be a deep prayer. And it's
good.
17-15. A prayer keeps Collinsville in it going into the half.
You know, that's something you don't like to see as a coach or a player, but I think Tigers coming out, they'll have an answer for that. You know, you can't lack even at the end of the quarter, end of the half. You kind of got to stay vigilant. Keep that eye.
And though you're up, that is a bit of a stinger. So for EHS Broadcasting, I'm Zach Kennett.
And I'm Kaiser Revelle.
And we will see you on the other side at the top of the third quarter. Thank you very much. Good evening, folks. We are back for EHS Broadcasting. I'm Zach Kenneth.
And I'm Kaiser Ravel.
And folks, if you're just joining us, you missed a fantastic first half of Southwestern Conference rivalry basketball. Tigers lead 17-15 after a last-second buzzer-beating half-court heave by Collinsville to make it a 2-point game. Your leading scorers for the Tigers, Landon Simmons. For Collinsville is number 24, Ashley Giannini. Just fantastic ball all around as the teams break their huddles, and we are getting ready to get back in action here in the Luco Jackson Gymnasium. I know, folks, obviously this game is very important. What's also important is our crosstown game where our boys, one of the best teams in the state, a bit of a surprise, are beating the Collinsville K-Hawks. That's not a surprise. About 30-24 last time we checked in. We'll be periodically updating you throughout the rest of tonight's game.
And, you know, they just had the opportunity to play in the Pacers Stadium. And
yes.
I was there, and it was a great opportunity for the guys. You know, they came in after a big night versus O'Fallon, and they put it to Madison, and it's just everything you wanted in an experience like that.
Could the 5 varsity boys starting lineup beat 1 Tyrese Halliburton?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton just has such a set of skills, you know. But 5-on-1, I mean, I'd probably give it to the Tigers just because of the numbers. But like 1-on-1, 21 skunk any player on the Tigers.
Here's Carly Van Dyke over to Ashley Giannini. Shapiro leans in a bit too much. That's a whistle. Kind of surprised that's only the second foul for Shapiro. I mean, obviously she's so physical on defense.
You know, she's really selective on her takes, and it's just something you don't really see in a younger player, and it's something you really need to utilize more. Just knowing when to put your hand in the cookie jar and looking for the right thing. Trying to get that chocolate chip.
Speaking of selective, or maybe the opposite, K-Hawks with a bad turnover on the inbound there. Rare you see just a throw out of bounds there.
You know, it's just sloppy.
Semeth deep 2 doesn't go. That's a hard shot to make without the backboard there. Shapiro jumping for joy. Sprints,
you know,
cross court.
She's working. She's really trying to push that agenda that the Tigers are better than the K-Hawks, and that's what they need, some internal motivation from the team.
Gilmore keeps trying to post up, but she cannot beat Landon Simmons, a senior forward for Edwardsville.
You know, putting a body on a body, that's what you need.
A little pass out. You thought about the reverse layup there maybe, Kaiser, but
no finesse for the K-Hawks right there, and it's something you don't really see.
Shot there. It's well short off front iron. And there's a whistle there. And it'll be K-Hawk ball. No, correction, it'll be Edwardsville ball. On the foul on Giannini. So there's 3 K-Hawks on the floor with 2 fouls apiece. As there's plenty of fouls in that second quarter. Geese King will inbound to Shapiro.
You know, Tigers just need to work their plays, kind of work their magic.
And 1 there for Edwardsville. Landon Simmons will again go to the line.
You know, take your points when you can, and, you know, going to the paint like that, going strong, you know, holding your composure, you come down with 2 and maybe a third.
Yeah, obviously a bit of a quiet night here in Edwardsville. No pep band, and of course our cheer squad getting ready for their state run. Fantastic program we have here as Landon Simmons, a fantastic shot to make it 20-15.
Laces it. You can hear the swish on that shot. There's something beautiful about a swish.
Yes, sir. Geese King beats the pick, stays with her opponent, and there's a whistle. A bit too much there from Kennedy. K-Hawks to inbound, 6:16 on the clock. McFarland kind of bats that away. We'll do it again.
Let them know that nothing comes easy, you know, swat the ball right out of bounds.
Van Dyke. Gilmore. Ooh, Lane Logan reaches in, can't get around the pick.
Tough pick there on Lane Logan. It's just, she took it hard, but she got right back up and ready to work.
Here's a fast break. McFarland will catch the body there. Tigers will inbound.
A little foul bait there didn't hurt. Tigers keep the possession. Dish out a foul.
Now you called this lineup the conga lineup, as Simmons a great touch there for an easy 2.
Because you never know which direction you're heading. Could go forwards, go backwards, either side.
Lane Logan fights, and these Edwardsville guards, that full court press is just so lethal when teams can't answer for it.
They're taking a page from the Alton Redbirds book, playing that tight physical defense at all seconds.
Hold there on Lane Logan. 3 fouls for the senior. Be curious to see if anyone heads to the scorers table soon for Edwardsville.
That's where you kind of got to preserve your fouls there,
Jump ball. Tigers have the arrow, and the Jayhawks are already in the double bonus for the third quarter, just 2.5 minutes in.
Yeah.
Full timeout here.
Something about the physicalness of Collinsville getting into the bonus like that is they're trying to stick it on them. They haven't hit a shot in a while. Can you speak to that, Zach?
What?
Can you speak to the lack of points in the second half so far?
Yeah, Collinsville was struggling there. We saw them kind of running out of steam in the second half of that second quarter, and that's carried over into the third. Obviously, now with the double bonus, that makes it so much easier for them to score, but I think the Tigers can handle actively, calling off the dogs a little bit on defense, still staying aggressive on offense, but just maybe not playing so hungry in the rest of this third quarter.
Yeah, kind of play some preservative ball, kind of work for your shots a little more, slow it down.
So Geese King will inbound following the timeout. It was Collinsville who called it. Here's Shapiro. Geese King had that deep 3 earlier. Passes now. McFarland trouble. Okay, hawk ball.
Offline. It's good she's not a quarterback.
7-point Tiger lead. I don't know if it necessarily feels safe yet. I think Collinsville has had plenty of opportunities, and as soon as they start converting, this game will become a lot closer.
Yeah, I just think keeping your foot on the gas and not letting up. That's what you really need right now.
Semeth, a foul on Collinsville there. So Edwardsville will inbound. Plenty of whistles for both teams. 4 apiece so far in this third. Tigers enter the double bonus. And folks, I just checked the IHSA website today. I believe the brackets for regionals and then some will be announced February 7th. So that's something to be looking forward to. Obviously the season won't be ending until next week, but we're very excited to see our matchup as the 3's no good, but the 2 is.
Kind of just getting that second chance points. That's what you're looking for right now. Trying to keep the lead strong, maybe push it to a little more.
Semeth makes call, pick up her dribble there. Jayhawks narrowly avoid a backcourt, and they're not out of the jail yet. The arrow favors Collinsville, but there's that Tiger defense.
Holding strong throughout the entire game. It goes down to conditioning, the ins and outs of the practices leading up to the game, preserving your players.
Van Dyke to inbound. 4:30 to go in the third. Gilmore. This is farther out than we've really seen her all tonight. Simmons sizes her up. Morris. Great turnover there for the Tigers. How many times can we say that tonight? Shapiro
Coast to coast.
26-15, 11 points now for Edwardsville. And they have played very well in this third quarter. Obviously, the foul trouble added some question marks, but they are converting on those chances that they weren't in that first half.
Yeah, and there's something special about going coast to coast. Working hard for that basket, beating the person next to you to the rim.
Yeah, cannonball run. Van Dyke, another turnover for Collinsville. A scrum on the floor. Gilmore.
Sloppy ball handling by Collinsville leads to
fast break for
a turnover. Easy bucket.
And at what point does Collinsville call that timeout? It's now a 13-point deficit. And any semblance of this game being close is kind of dissipated here in this third.
I think it's coming soon. Tigers will get one more basket, maybe a turnover. Collinsville's really struggling to hold on to the ball right now. That's what you want to see for the Tigers.
Gilmore, that's a tough shot to make that spin around midi. Geese King fights for the board.
Collinsville coach doesn't look too happy.
Shapiro can't get the and one.
No good, but a foul call.
Shapiro from the line, 42.9%, not her strong suit. But this 13-point lead kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, obviously it was a 17-15 game at the half. K-Hawks still looking to score 5 minutes in, and the Tigers now 29-15, 12-0 run in this third quarter.
I think the K-Hawks are in scramble mode right now. They're looking for any opportunity to make a play, and they're just rushing to all heaps, but nothing to avail so far.
And you just saw that there, a triple substitution for Collinsville. 3 timeouts left. They're not going to call one yet, though they have just been doubled up by Edwardsville, 30-15. Call. And Giannini, it's batted out. Still Collinsville ball. What kind of adjustments can you make if you're this coaching staff?
They just got to slow it down, find the right shots, pace themselves, pick their tempo, get the Tigers uncomfortable. In the first part of this game, it was really the paint. I think they need to go back to that. But I won't tell them that.
Shapiro saying her name all night. And Tiger ball there. Simmons to inbound from the K-Hawk bench. Tigers leading scorer Simmons with 12, by far most of any Tiger. Simmons only averages about 6.5 per game. Geese King wide open, Kaiser. 32-15, 17-point lead. Where did this come from?
Like I said earlier, going at halftime, coach has to light a fire, and I think the Tigers are really picking up on that fire. They know that they're 42-1 since 2006. They really want to make the alumni proud and hold on to that tonight.
That's a great point, Kaiser. This Edwardsville team since 2006 has won 42 of 43 games against Collinsville, has won 20 straight against the K-Hawks. Just so fantastic. That's a winning streak that rivals their one against Belleville West or so many other Southwestern Conference programs. McFarland, deep three, and everything's just working now. It's a 20-point lead for Edwardsville.
Tigers are really laying on, and the timeout called there.
And you knew it was coming at some point. How much energy does that timeout give back to Edwardsville? Obviously, they're so hot right now, but being so hot that your opponent has to call a timeout to make adjustments. What's that like?
It really boosts the morale of the team when you got somebody down, and they're struggling, they're scrounging for anything, any juice they can find, and Tigers are really working while Collinsville's in scramble mode. They haven't found anything. They've been really struggling on every aspect of the game, and I'd be excited to see what coach is drawing up right now to try to light a fire in the K-Hawks.
Now, obviously we know these teams are rivals. Maybe some bad blood between them. The Tigers knocked Collinsville out of the playoffs last year in the regional semifinals, and that was hosted in Collinsville.
There's something different about the playoffs. everybody's 0-0 at that point, and it's really showtime. And Tigers know what they've done, and they're just trying to repeat.
Obviously, last year you saw Edwardsville turn that corner and winning something like 12 straight to end the season. Got knocked out by Alton in the regional finals. And this is a Tiger squad ranked 31st in the state of Illinois, 4th in the conference. And they are hungry, I imagine, going into regionals, sectionals maybe, if they can get hot. And even further, as we know this program is so want to do.
Yeah, the Tigers really swerved and hit that corner. They're really working hard, really find their shots nicely in this second part of the game.
Jump ball, Tigers have the arrow. Shapiro will inbound. Last time we heard from our boys team, they were up by 4 at the half, 30-26 in Collinsville. 90 seconds to go in this third quarter. Collinsville still looking for their first points of the half.
I think this is where the Tigers hold the ball a little more, kind of keep their foot on the gas just enough to hold that lead, but slow down a little bit, let them know that it's okay to preserve energy, try to get some of those backups in.
And what does that do for your morale if you're Collinsville? Obviously, nothing has worked this quarter.
Seeing the bench come in, there's something different about it. And it just really demoralizes the team when you've prepared all week for somebody like Edwardsville, and they put their backup in, and they're going to work you just as hard, if not a little harder.
Shapiro, a foul, and here's a chance for Collinsville to get on the board with the double bonus. 1:11 to go in this third. Carly Call will head to the line. She shoots 54% from the free throw line. Her first. Chaos on the board.
These free throws can really light a fire in a team or really demoralize them. They look at the scoreboard, they see the lead.
So the deficit this quarter goes from 18-0 to 18-1. Don't call it a comeback. It's Tiger ball.
Coach Young shouts some words of encouragement to the Tigers, kind of keeping them going, letting them know that they're in control, but to hold on because they're in for a long ride.
Now, Kaiser, obviously a lead this big. If you're Edwardsville, how do you keep that energy up to land the plane in this fourth quarter?
Don't make careless turnovers right there. Simmons turns the ball over. That could create some quick change for the K-Hawks. Just holding on to the lead.
That's a fun little play there. A pass from the back, another turnover, and there, you said it earlier, sloppy ball.
Yeah, you got to keep the ball up, keep it moving, kind of swing the rock a little more.
McFarland will head to the line, averages this season 76% from the line, best of any Tiger, to make it a 20-point lead once again. First one goes.
She has 7 points on the night. She's really put her contributions into this lead, and she's just not taking anything for granted.
McFarland, 40 seconds to go in this third. 21-point lead now for Edwardsville. Inbound there to April Ramirez. Ramirez averages 0.7 points a game. Shapiro, foot on the gas. 39-16.
Yeah, takes the easy bucket, nothing too special. That's what you like to see, No showboating. Try not to raise any bad blood.
Kaiser, would you say you're a bit of a showboater?
I would, and sometimes it comes to haunt me, Sometimes when I'm messing around, playing some sports with my friends and, get a little hot, and I like to talk a little bit, and sometimes it can come back to haunt me, but that's all right.
You think it will for these Tigers, up 23 points?
No, I don't, They've really been controlling the ball well the second half, and they're taking what they're given, and they're doing it really well. taking way better shots the second half, you know, tapping the ball out, kind of keeping the presence there, working them hard. And
1 second to go now. K-Hawks, it's a catch and shoot situation. Morris to inbound. They caught it. They shoot it, but it does not go. K-Hawks leave the third quarter scoring 1 point. Tigers lead 39-16 for EHS Broadcasting. I'm Zach Kennett.
And I'm Kaiser Ravel.
Thank you very much. We're back. Now to the top of the fourth quarter. I mean, obviously clean slate, but anything Collinsville will do, I mean, you got to think it's too little too late.
Yeah, and it's really just a culture thing. You know, the Tigers won't stop till the end. They're really going to work it, really going to let them know what they're about.
A little score update from Collinsville, where our boys team is taking on the K-Hawks. Edwardsville leads 39-35, 17 and a half to go in the third quarter. Obviously a rivalry matchup as we check our live stream chat here on EHS Broadcasting. Always a great way to talk to us streamers. My grandpa says, "Go Tigers."
You know, you love to see it from Grandpa. Shout out, Grandpa. We love to see it.
And Kaiser, I have a special announcement. The Mossy Stone Irish Pub just posted our picture of our winning trivia team from last week.
You know,
we might not need to say the team name, but we will shout out our team. It's a fun little hobby of ours now, and that's just really fun.
You know, it's ecstatic going in there against a bunch of old chaps. You know, really going in and laying out on them, getting first place, 1-0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm really sure those 45-year-olds loved a bunch of loud 18-year-olds coming in and beating them at their own game. Shapiro.
It's hard to be a baller, but somebody's got to do it.
Simmons, the three. Now, what do you think of Edwardsville keeping out their hot hands, their starters? I mean, Simmons, Shapiro, still out there. McFarland for three. You know, is that good, or do you want to start getting these rotational players in?
You know, I think work them down a little more, kind of make sure that lead's safe, and then, you know, get your second, third stringers in, you know, let them get some experience.
7:30 to go in this fourth quarter. Giannini cycles around, and she'll turn it over. We don't really keep track of stats up here, but that's got to be their 7th or 8th turnover. McFarland, the three. No good. McFarland made her first three. Has had trouble getting back in the basket since then.
You know, I think the Tigers haven't really been capitalizing on the three ball, and I just, it hasn't been working tonight. I think the Tigers could look some better options, like getting in that paint.
Yeah, just looking at these numbers for Edwardsville, not a lethal team from beyond the arc. So good from mid, so good on those fast break opportunities like we've shouted out tonight. And obviously when you have a Landon Simmons scoring to the paint, is pretty straightforward. Gilmore, the three, it doesn't go. Gilmore gets the board though, 39-18. 6:45 to go in this fourth quarter. Shapiro takes it up slowly. Geese King, Simmons. Shapiro loses her dribble. It's a turnover there, K-Hawk ball.
Yeah, a minute and a half has passed in this fourth quarter, and we're getting to the point where we might have to call a game.
Trying to ID some of these players. It's a bit tricky. Carly Van Dyke. Geese King keeping up with her. Gilmore batted away. It's Simmons now. Into the paint, crossover. Yes, 41-18. What do you like about that, Kaiser?
Yeah, she took a trip to Europe with that one. Nice finish. It's what you like to see. You know, she's really digging deep in her bag. You know, getting in there, little hop with a clean finish.
It's that finesse that maybe needs to be refined a bit more for Edwardsville going into the playoffs, but we talked about it in the first half. We knew they were going to warm up here in the second. They absolutely have. Lead now 41-18.
Yeah. it's a beautiful thing to see.
Hall finds Gilmore. The three. It goes. Pretty parabolic there. High arcing. 41-21. 20-point deficit once again. 45 to go in this fourth quarter. Simmons. Again. And one.
Yeah, it's just something, like I said earlier, about taking those tough finishes, really holding your body, keeping your center of mass low, raising up high, and eating the contact, and hopefully looking for a third.
16 points for Simmons. She wants 17. Gets it to go, hits every part of the rim and the bottom of the net.
Yeah, 17 points tonight. She's really took in charge of this team, really asserting her dominance on the court.
Van Dyke, correction mode. Muniz. Another turnover there. Simmons taking her time, 5 to go in the fourth.
Yeah, she's really silenced the K-Hawks and their center court. She's really putting a rest to the big women.
Shapiro. McFarland thought about the three. Shapiro double team. Has to pass out to McFarland. Finds Lane Logan. Pass over to Gabby Cook. No look. Logan back to McFarland. Great pass there. Shapiro tight roped the baseline, and a great pass the midi for Lane Logan falls. 46-21. .424 in the fourth. Carson Mode taking her time. Gilmore. And this Tiger squad playing with that same tenacity that we've seen all night. And there's a travel there on Collinsville. They have not put their foot off the gas halfway through this fourth quarter with a huge lead.
Yeah, I think Collinsville's tired. You know, the Tiger defense really worked them that first half. You know, they came out very flat. And it's just something you'd like to see for the Tigers, but for the K-Hawks, it's really demoralizing.
And the shot falls. And what are you going to do, Kaiser? What are you going to do? Everything's working. Lane Logan for three.
You know, I'm going to give that a big boom. That was smooth like butter.
.330 on the clock. 28-point lead. And it's another turnover. Shapiro. What more can you say? It's a 30-point lead now for Edwardsville. It's another timeout.
Yeah. I don't even know what the Collinsville coach has to say. I mean, you're down by 30 deep into the fourth quarter. There's really nothing you can do to bring this lead back.
Apologize, had to shout out our trivia team on Instagram as we get back in action here in the fourth. Collinsville to inbound. .322 on the clock. 30-point lead. Muniz out. The shot. It falls. 51-24.
Cuts the lead to just 27 points.
Collinsville never say die. Lane Logan. Logan and Cook, the only starters on the floor for Edwardsville. So we see some more rotational players get in. Cook. Lane Logan. We don't have names for all of these players. Logan. She's driving the bus, and that's a turnover there.
Yeah, she follows tightly as number 23 looks to take it to the rack, and it's good.
That's April Ramirez there. 5 points on the night for Ramirez. 2:15 to go now. Kenley Wise, first time we're calling her name tonight, and Cook gets fouled on the way up to make it now a 52 or 53-26 game.
Yeah, Cook looks to capitalize on these free throws here as she makes the first one.
Clock is bleeding, 1:45 to go. As we look forward to the girls' next games, they'll be taking on East St. Louis on the 6th. They will be heading to Granite on the 7th. On the 11th, their senior night versus Rochester. Not to toot our own horn, it's also broadcasting senior night on the 11th. And then the final game, regular season wraps up February 13th at Belleville West. Another turnover there by Collinsville. 75 seconds. Cook gets the board, 55-26. As this Collinsville squad will fall to 11-13. That'll be 4-6 in conference. This Tiger squad moves to 14-9, 6-4 in conference. 50 seconds now.
Yeah, as time expires, both teams really slugging along, waiting for this game to be over.
Yeah, I mean, what's that like? Obviously, no chance coming back now. How do you find that energy, that morale to finish the game?
I mean, you kind of just got to look on to the next opponents, you know, and realize that maybe this one must suck, but there's always the next one.
Shot doesn't fall. Tigers get the board. 17 seconds to go. Kaiser, here at EHS Broadcasting, we have a little tradition, our Tiger of the Night. Who's yours?
For me, I feel like it's Simmons. She's really laid it down on the, really leading the charge in the second half, putting those points on the board, controlling that lead and pushing the memo.
Yeah, I mean, Simmons is a great choice. 17 points on the night. I think I'd go with her too. So the Tigers win 55-26. They shake hands at the scorer's table. We're serenaded by Illinois Loyalty. For EHS Broadcasting, I'm Zach Kennett.
And I'm Kaiser Reville.
Thank you very much for tuning in.